What's going on? Georgia election season is in full swing. We are just a little over 2 months away from the election. And one thing that I do want to bring up is Stacey Abrams. One thing that's been in the news a lot is Stacey Abrams talking about voter suppression in Georgia and the so-called Jim Crow, whatever you want to call it, election laws that they state are limiting certain voters of being able to vote. So I was just watching a video of Stacey Abrams being interviewed on MSNBC from just a couple of months ago. And she states that something that she has always said is that the answer to voter suppression is voter turnout. Now, I'm going to be honest. It's a little bit confusing because when you hear that, you're like, so basically, if people turn out to vote, then their vote is not suppressed. I don't know if that sounds smart to some people, but it seems just very naive, and almost seems like something that you would say to people, almost trying to make people believe something exists that doesn't really exist, because you are stating that there is a big problem of voter suppression. That any type of law that is made that has to do with voter ID or trying to make sure that mail-in ballots are verified and certified, that anything like that is trying to suppress votes, and that it is only trying to suppress votes of people that their skin is a certain color. That's what you're telling people exists. But then you turn around and say, what I've always said is that the answer to voter suppression is voter turnout. So basically just come and vote and your vote won't be suppressed. Well, duh. I mean, how smart is that? Like, what type of college degree did you have to get to figure that out? You can sit at home and not vote and say, my vote was suppressed. Or you can get up, make sure you're registered to vote. Once you are, go vote, come back home and say, hey, I voted. My vote wasn't suppressed. It's not rocket science, people. Literally, every single person, it don't matter what color you are, white, black, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. If you're Asian, if you live in America and you drive a vehicle, you have a driver's license, you had to go to your local DMV and endure that horrible experience to get your driver's license, okay? You had to do that. No, first you had to get a learner's license. I'm pretty sure, I know in Georgia you have to get a learner's license first, then a driver's license. Okay? So you go through that process, you get a driver's license, and then you can drive a car. Okay? Every time you get pulled over, you have to have that ID with you. Okay? If you do something wrong, you can get that license taken away. Voting, however, all you have to do is just do a quick, simple registration for it, and then you just go vote. It's not hard. So why does specifically one political party in our country, and not just in Georgia, it's not just Stacey Abrams, it's across the spectrum, all Democrats in the United States do not like any type of certification or verification of voting. They want people to just be able to go vote. Stacey Abrams said herself that she does not like the mail-in voting where the signatures have to be verified and you have to print out something and mail it in and all this stuff for extra certification. She wants people to just be able to fill out a ballot, send it, and it gets counted. No questions asked, basically. Why is it that one political party wants that, and the other political party, all they ask for, we just want to make sure that everything is fair. Just want to verify that when people are sending in mail-in ballots, that, hey, one, you're voting in your area, and that you're only voting once. Okay? You're not voting for other people. You're not voting twice or attempting to vote twice. It's not rocket science, people, okay? But here's the problem. If you go beyond that, Stacey Abrams just out there, all the regular stuff that every politician does. It comes out election time, they start bashing the other opponent and talking about all the failures that their political opponent has. She even came out and tried to blame Governor Brian Kemp for inflation. So apparently he's the problem for inflation in Georgia. Well, if that's the way that she analyzes data, then I guess that would mean that every governor of all the other 49 states is responsible for the inflation in their states as well. Even all of the states that have Democratic governors, not Republican, because I'm pretty positive that every state in this freaking country right now is dealing with inflation. So if you want to vote for somebody that's whatever you want to call it, I ain't going to put no certain names out there or certain, I guess you would say, definitions of what I believe Stacey Abrams is. But just think about that. Just think about the fact that all the stuff that the Democratic Party as a whole stands for right now, she is a supporter of, okay? All the crap that Joe Biden, all the way down, all the stuff that the Democratic Party is aligned with, she is a part of that whole system. For instance, the Inflation Reduction Act that just happened like in the last week, they named that bill the Inflation Reduction Act, and part of that bill, you can go read it for yourself, part of that bill increases the federal gas tax back up because they just reduced it a few months ago because they were trying to help with gas prices. And then they just turned around and in the Inflation Reduction Act, in that very bill, increased the federal gas tax back up. That's the type of people, the type of leadership that Democrats are. They do not care about regular Americans, Georgians in this case, we're talking about Stacey Abrams. They don't care about the little guy at all. They care about their self. They care about their own pockets and power. That's it. The end. Do not vote for Stacey Abrams for governor of Georgia.